Good Wednesday evening, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, coming on the air because we have some severe thunderstorm warnings in play across the area of South Georgia. I know really kind of seeing the action ending up focusing up there. So one of these about to expire, Colquitt, Mitchell, and Worth. It would seem that it won't get extended at this point, but we'll keep watching the trends. And these are more for hail than anything. So that's kind of intriguing to see here with the meteorology, but the warning for Colquitt, Mitchell, and Worth, that goes until 6:45. So that's about to expire. We already posted about that one, so that's popping off the screen now. The other two warnings, though, that are in play, we have one up here impacting areas in Albany. Could have quarter-size hail. That's kind of a threat here. Doherty, Lee, and Terrell counties till 7:15. At 6:29, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles northwest of Albany, moving southeast at 25 miles an hour. So Leesburg, Albany, East Albany, the Marine Corps Logistics Base, Turner City, Sasser, Stocks, Radium Springs, Forester, Lockett Crossing, Bridge Crossroad, as well as South Albany, Southwest Georgia Airport, Palmyra, Century, Jordan Place, Starksville. So you kind of get the idea where we're tracking that. And we have another severe thunderstorm warning in the south. This one just got us in the last few moments. It is for areas of Decatur, Mitchell, Miller, Baker, and Seminole counties until 7:15. Donaldsonville, Iron City, Brinson, Boynton, Babcock, El Dorado, some of the areas under this one. So quarter-size hail possible there, which seem more likely. It's going to be producing that right now than the other storm because you see the purple, the magenta color here on the Doppler technology. So El Dorado here are going to be maybe impacted the next few moments. I know these are some areas that are 62 counties here that we're tracking some of this concern. Let me just kind of remind you where we're at with everything. I'll take off our severe thunderstorm warning information for the time being here. And just remind you the covered map. I know I'm in Bradford County, but these areas in Georgia are counties are part of my 62. And of course, we're always on for any tornado warning storm moving through. We've been doing that for the last 5 years or so. But these severe thunderstorm warnings, we were posting about that first one there on Facebook and then Twitter/X. But then the second one popped up. We started to post about it, and then we had a third one, so I thought we better just come on to kind of break things down for you guys instead of just, posting instead of doing that. Just come on here to give you guys the very latest information to protect you, your friends, and your family. So that's kind of the storyline right now. Let me go ahead and zoom back on in. You see around US 27 here. We're watching, let's look at the wind mode. There's not a lot there. We actually had more in the wind mode earlier. But the hail, it could be up to a quarter, size type of deal here. So that means 1 inch in diameter. So as we continue to go up to the north, look at the wind mode on this one. A little bit of weak rotation, but that's more just the way this is kind of formed than anything. So really not that concerning as we watch, as we track here on the Doppler, but we'll just continue to give you guys the latest here. I know what kind of prompted all of this really was a situation where we had some hail up to an inch reported earlier in Calhoun County, Georgia. Didn't have a warning, but it happened around 5:09 around Leary, and that came in there as a report here. About the same time they issued that first severe thunderstorm warning, so they started to maybe realize here that the meteorology actually was there based on the reports, what the radar said then that produced. So what the radar's doing now could also produce hail to just, barely severe limits. So that's kind of a storyline, with that ground truth, and cross-referencing that with the radar then, and then cross-referencing that with the radar now. So we were kind of thinking maybe more development would be down to the south and east, but instead getting the models to kind of switch around on us here and seeing the development more up toward the north and west. And we're going to have some cool air coming in as we do look ahead in the days to come. So warmth is going to be here for the next several days right now here across the area as we're kind of looking, many of the spots. But as we kind of look at things here, you can see the Doppler. I mean, the temperature is pretty warm, but again, that cool down is coming on in. You can kind of see signs of that here off toward the north and the west. You see the wind direction there coming from that north, type of mode there. And there's cooler readings up toward like Memphis and the like. So, again, that's kind of the storyline there right now as we're tracking things, as we give you guys the very latest information here on all of this, just trying to let you guys know exactly what is happening here with the overall scenario. So, again, just trying to let you know what we're dealing with. And you can see a little bit of lighting in this northern area. We had some warnings up there earlier north of our area, but they weren't in our area. But now we've started here this hour to get a few within the viewing circle. And that first one for Colquitt, Mitchell, and what they got, expired out there at 6:45. We had a report there from earlier, though, that come in a little after that first warning officially in the system for broadcast media and public. The storm report says that they reported quarter-size hail around the Leary community in Calhoun County. And then since then, we've gotten some pea-size reports in Mitchell County, but we're talking about Darty, Lee, Terrell till 7:15, and then Baker, Decatur, Miller, Mitchell, and Seminole until 7:15. Again, these are not all that impressive, quite honestly, but we thought we'd pop in at least for a few minutes because we haven't had this many warnings around in our area in a while. I mean, these are not that significant, but still, we had a warning around Thanksgiving, and then we had a one there last week, give or take, talking just, stuff that wasn't too nasty there. This probably isn't too nasty, but we actually had a few different storms to provide us with some warning concern here. So, and we had some confirmation of something. So, it's been a pretty calm pattern. There wasn't a formal risk here like we did in the last two. There, Thanksgiving, and then last Wednesday, I believe it was. But again, we're just going to continue to watch things, continue to track here. Try to give you guys the very latest on what's going on what is happening. We're just trying to give you guys everything you need here. We're just trying to stay on top of all that. So, may not stick with it too long, but just wanted to pop on in here. Just wanted to pop on in to let you guys know what we're doing with here, with what we're tracking. So, you can kind of see this one storm here northwest of Bainbridge around El Dorado. That's where we could have, here in moments, some quarter-size hail coming in. You see that orange there? That was indicative of hail to about an inch northeast of Iron City. And now that potential's dropped just a little bit, but it's still noteworthy as it moves closer toward El Dorado. So, you have this other storm north of Albany. I know it's at night now is when we're dealing with things, and this type of pattern here, though, the hail, with, like tornadoes and wind, sometimes that, can be more of a factor being night. You don't, depending on what you have, if it's more the energy producing this or the shear, if it's the energy producing things, then at night you're going to have a lesser chance of the concern. But if it's shear, it's not going to have an effect. This time of year, it's more about shear, but I'll pull up the energy values, and that's just a general, way of thinking. We energy here, we actually have some. So sometimes you don't have much energy at all, and you have the shear. We actually have some energy around. So, and I look at the shear, we don't have that much. So it's kind of not exactly the, the whole storyline here as we're tracking things, as we're trying to give you guys the very latest on what's going on. So, just kind of intriguing to touch on all of that here in the Weather Center. So, I know it's kind of interesting to see here how things are going. We have that fog threat potential as we look ahead again. Areas ahead of the front. Some, winds coming on down could lead to another night of patchy to dense fog. And then as the front moves through on that Thursday, skies, according to the Weather Service Tallahassee, I'm just kind of reading verbatim here, are going to begin to clear up as dew points drop and cool air from the north begins to move across our region. So that's kind of the storyline there. as we're tracking things, and we give you guys the very latest on exactly what is going on here. We're just trying to keep you guys informed on what we're dealing with. So again, just trying to read over everything here. Just, making sure that we let you guys know what the deal is here with weather. So again, just gonna continue to watch things here. Gonna continue to track. Let me go ahead and kind of zoom back out a little bit. You kind of see here some of the cool air further off, but not extreme cold, quite honestly. But it's going to be cooler coming up, as we look ahead toward that weekend, the weekend before Christmas here and the like. But we've had colder here, recently, but it's still going to be something. We could have some frost or freeze, depending on your area. Not quite as likely as maybe some of the other events here recently, but still definitely a possibility. So I have to just continue to watch things here again. If you're watching from like the Stark area, we're doing pretty good. We don't have much at all on the radar. Temperature-wise, I'm at 64 here east of Stark. 66 is what deciding Keystone shows at the airport there. That's kind of the storyline as we're looking at things, as we're tracking the overall scenario. So I know probably don't have too many folks watching here because the overall threat's pretty limited in both space here and just in terms of it being significant. Not in our Florida zones, really. I mean, we do have a little bit of heavy downpour accident near I-10 in Gadsden and Liberty County region there, but again, nothing, overwhelming with concerns. So this is right near Albany, though, so some hail could be in there. Not even hardly showing up on the radar technology source now for hail, though. So I think we're just going to go ahead and, start to wrap it up. If you're wondering, by the way, our next film update here on that schedule, assuming we don't have to break it back in before then, our next film update is going to be, on a little bit different schedule the next couple of weeks. So we've already been kind of on a different schedule here to start out December with it. Just be once a week here, late Tuesday, early Wednesday. Well, for the last couple of weeks here of the year 2024, the update to be late Monday, early Tuesday, so we're not going up against Christmas Eve, slash early Christmas and New Year's Eve slash early New Year's Day morning, per se, the wee hours. So our next film update will be late Monday, early Tuesday, the 23rd, going into the 24th, okay? So, going into maybe the early wee hours of Christmas Eve, not actually going into Christmas Day. So there's our platforms that we're on. Facebook, there, Casey Cloud, everybody X, Cloud Weather. Twitter, so it's X there at Cloud Casey. YouTube at Cloud Weather. Twitch, Cloud Weather, and Cloud.com. So that's kind of the storyline there as we're dealing with it, as we're tracking things here, as we're monitoring the scenario. And if I need to come back on, I will. But a couple warnings and put a 7:15. We have this one here. This is in play for areas of Decatur, Miller, Baker, Seminole counties. So you're going to be watching Mitchell County in there, and then watching some, damage to vehicles in other isolated minor ways possible with quarter-size hail. So that's kind of the storyline with all that there. I know, again, looking at things, Decatur, Miller, Mitchell, Baker, Seminole counties, and then up toward the north here, we're talking about Doherty, Lee, and Terrell counties. So that's going to do it for now. Both of them to 7:15. We're not going to say undo them because these are not overwhelming. There is a concern, but they're worth talking about. I'm hoping we don't get any more warnings tonight. It's possible something else triggers another severe thunderstorm warning or two. We may just post about that. If that's the case, if somehow we get a tornado warning, though, we'll obviously be on immediately to protect you, your friends, and your family. But I'm not expecting that here at this point. But, interesting to see this stuff develop more to the north and west. It's more about hail than anything. That's not too big of a concern. If a severe warning really got concerning, we'd pop back in here, at once. But these are, kind of your marginally severe type of warnings. No formal risk, though. Haven't had any tornado warnings around. Some more severe thunderstorm warnings to the north. We did have a tornado warning in Tennessee early this morning, but nothing, in our area like that. So that's the good news. Thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. I'll be back on here if it's necessary But otherwise, just enjoy your night. Stay safe out there. And that fog could be an issue again. So to some degree, across some of the areas. So just be very careful with that. Use extra caution in those instances. That can be very dangerous. But for now, thanks so much. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center.